This is Keith Jones. You're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas.
Fella
Fridays.
Fella Fridays coming at you on a Tuesday because it's, shout out to our boy Max, right? There's nobody there at Hall Pass Media.
There's no,
Yes,
so.
You want to question our dedication to Missin Curfew as a
agree.
guy who's about to take off for a week. But you look at us. We're in here. Max is in here. There's nobody else at Hall Pass. We're still bringing you content up, dog. Even though
We are.
we're going to be, when this comes out, we're going to be, well, we won't be hungover after Thursday, but we will be hungover Thursday.
Speak for yourself. I got Scott and Mandy coming to town. Actually, they land about an hour.
Do you tie one on Thursday too, on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. 3 football games, turkey. I'll probably drink about 6 bottles of that nice red wine that I bought this weekend. So we're giving this to you on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, we're coming at you
We
Tuesday.
We have a Fella Friday great interview today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Philadelphia Flyers. But Obi, we just had to get this out there. Well, we hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hope you guys won your bets.
I hope you won your bets.
Hope we won your bets. I actually I have to clear up today, so I can make bets on Thursday. It's that time of time of the year for me. Listen, I fought them off as hard as I could.
That happens.
Yeah,
The new season starts on Thanksgiving.
yeah. Let's go. 3 games. Thanksgiving's the best one. I'm fired up.
So more importantly, we hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and
happy
the football
Thanksgiving.
games. But more importantly, as Obi would say, I hope you had a good Super Wednesday.
Yeah, Super Wednesday. Looking forward to it again. It's not going to be quite as super as it used to be, but anyways, though, let's get into our guest. We obviously brought Keith Jones in here, a guy that's been unbelievable to us. The Philadelphia Flyers are sitting right now. I mean,
Sitting in the seventh spot, I believe. In the East.
It's unbelievable. Here, let me go standings.
Yeah, who had him pegged out for that? By the way,
Listen, I when they started the season, I said a couple weeks here on Missin Curfew with you, I said,
Yep.
tread water betting against the Philadelphia Flyers right now because the way John Tortorella coaches them, the way they compete, the structure they have, they're in good shape because of Camp Tortorella, which we talked with Jonesy about. And man, they've exceeded my expectations. I knew they would be in games, but to win 5 in a row like they have, I watched them play the other night against Columbus. I took them, DraftKings baby. They're playing great ups.
yeah, jury's out, Obes, and I know this. It's because the lines, the Vegas lines, these guys, they know.
They know.
The line's been coming down. They haven't been quite as juicy as we could call it, right? You used to get them at a minus, like a plus 220 at home. I mean, yeah, you were saying under Torts, he's going to make sure they're not just getting blown out.
Yeah.
They're going to play hard. They're going to be in games. And then, having Carter Hart back to the form, he's kicking like he was a couple years ago. When you got a good goalie, you're never a bad team to bet on.
No, and I thought more like take them puck line, right? Because typically to start the season they were getting a goal and a half. And sometimes you got to give your balls a tug on a puck line because she'll get to minus 200 or minus whatever, even higher some days. But I'm like, they're going to be in games because of their structure, because of their compete, because John Tortorella is going to keep them honest. But Sean Couturier, a guy that we touch on in this interview coming up with you with Jonesy, is a guy that, like you said, has battled back injuries. But just having him back in the lineup, a legit, I don't know if we could call him a superstar uppy, but like a legit NHLer that plays both ends of the rink, can play power play, can play penalty kill, face-offs. You can put him in at the end of the games. Like, to me, the biggest thing I've noticed is just having him back.
Yeah. No, he's got this, he's got the size. He almost played, I'm thinking of Anze Kopitar right now, right? Like a guy that you expect him out on the ice to start games, to start power plays, to finish games, to take those, most importantly, the draws at the end of the game, those big ones. But he's confident again. He's confident with his body. And that more than anything is what's been allowing him and his teammates now to come back and trust this guy in the lineup, right? Like you don't want to come back and be hesitant. And I think he tried last year and unfortunately didn't work. But him and a guy, Cam Atkinson, who we're talking about as well, these are the veterans of this young team, this kind of young team put together of, almost misfits, right? Like they were assembled to not really make playoffs, to not make a splash, to basically put a team out on the ice and compete as they start to rebuild and focus on the future.
Yeah.
And we didn't really talk about this in this interview, but they went off the beaten path this year of what the Philadelphia Flyers usually do. And they drafted a kid playing in the KHL, Mitchkov, I'm going to say. I'm probably butchering his name.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
Russian.
who can?
But this kid's over in Russia, and they don't know if he's going to be 2 years, 3 years. They don't.
Yeah, who knows?
It could be a
Ballsy pick.
Ballsy pick.
But that, I think, a good point by you, and that just played into Jonesy's, and he touches on it here in the interview, like, they have a process, right? They're not in a hurry. So that kid to them was like, all right, listen, we don't know what's going to happen over there. We'll let them just develop, play the KHL, which is a great, great league. They're not in a hurry to bring him over here. So I think that played into their pick, that they have kind of a game plan. It's like they're not in a hurry to get guys over here and get them in the lineup.
Yeah, and you know this, and I do, and it's in football, you see it a lot. Like if you're a top-end pick and you go into this shitty team, a situation with no O-line, terrible receivers, with no second offensive threat like a great running back, you're the sole purpose for winning, losing, getting smoked, you're getting beat up. And that's your first 3-4 years of your career. It could be the whole career. You look at the history of some of these quarterbacks. But
Jamarcus Russell.
If you pick a guy that has clearly a path for the next couple of years over in the KHL where he feels comfortable, where he's going to grow, he's going to become a man, he's going to, play a lot of minutes against grown men. And I think he's playing in Sochi.
Yeah.
They're not a bad squad.
Get used to travel. They fly everywhere, stuff like that.
This is only going to help this guy's transition over into a situation that is not current. It's not the Philadelphia Flyers right now. Hopefully in a couple of years when he's ready, they come over and they have free agents wanting to come play on this team. They have, the ability to sort through the guys, the personnel they have now, and keep the guys they like, and get this team back in the right track. As Jonesy said, they've fallen off for a little while. So it's nice now that, they have clearly a vision.
Yeah. And, he touches on the process of a couple years away, and, he didn't say it, but I just thought like cap space too, right? Like in a couple years, the cap could be upwards towards another 10 or 15 million. Let's hope it is. So they got a plan here. And if you're like an owner out there and you look at what's going on in Philly, and you just from the 30 minutes we get to talk to Jonesy here today, and, we had him on last year and everything he's done for, like, get ex-players in there, man.
Totally.
Like, get ex-players that have wore that jersey, that have been good team guys. Like, you listen to Keith Jones talk, and the first thing I thought as an ex-player, like, wow, it'd be nice to have him as your president, right? Like, you can go in. It's obviously different than just being buddies with him, but you can go in, talk to him, bounce some ideas off him, see where you stand. Like, I feel like between him, and you touch on this because you know DB better than me, Briere, they probably have a pretty good open-door policy, which he touches on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure their war room is almost like going and having dinner on the road with the guys when you used to play, right? Like you go in, you got the lineup, you got the minors over here, you got a great beer fridge right there, you got a nice round table, and you're talking hockey. And these guys, I think Keith touches on it well, is they want to be together. I think him and Danny Briere probably look at the schedule and say, let's make sure that we get our, 6-7 games watching this together this month.
Of course.
Let's make sure I get on the road and we line up a good golf game over here. But we're together. We can see our minor league team play. We can see other guys throughout the league. We can really fine tune what, it means to be a Philadelphia Flyer and what it means to get this team back on the right track. And you want free agents to want to come there. So it's a path back to the right, to the right way. And I love the fact that he's doing it with some ex-guys.
Yeah, and the league's better with the Philadelphia Flyers. I say that to him near the end. It just is. But I asked him about his office, and I got to think, if you're the president of a hockey club, like, how much time would you take in designing your office? Would the GM like, Happy, I want to bounce some ideas off you. Hold on, bud. I'm looking at some marble here for the,
mahogany.
Yeah, hold on. How nice would it be to design your own office as the president of a hockey club?
Well, I got enough shit everywhere that I need an office.
Yeah. I didn't you take over Max's office back here?
No, I tried. I thought we were chipping in enough here at Hallcast. I was going to get a damn office. Huh?
That's why you're helping with the editing. I was like, I was back there, be like, slide over, Max. I need space.
I'd love an office. I'd probably fill it up with more music stuff than hockey stuff. But I would just, it'd feel good to have your own couch and your own, again, beer fridge,
wine fridge,
just a spot away from home. Need some peace and quiet. You put on a nice speaker. You put on a record. I maybe bring the record album and make it just
just pounded
Do
music.
you think
through.
Jonesy's got a record player?
I don't think.
You'd have one of those things in the glass, or the glass goes like silk or whatever.
you can see in
Can't
there.
see through. Yeah.
They know what I'm doing in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think it would be a cool experience, and for him, you can see how much the Flyers mean to him. And then obviously in this interview, we touch on John Tortorella. You know, he came in there. You know, this year, Torts has got to think like, you know, DB and Jonesy didn't hire him, right? So I think if you're Torts, you're thinking, all right, I got a great track record. Obviously, I got the Stanley Cup. You know, I went to Columbus, turned that organization around. But for still, you got to think Torts is feeling pretty good coming in here with new president, new GM. And getting off to the start they're getting off to, right? Because now he's built credibility with Jonesy and DB, right? Now he's like, see, this stuff does work, boys.
Yeah. I'd say Torts has enough to worry about rather than worry about, oh, geez, I got a new president, I got a new GM, I got, a team that's we've been stinking lately. I think he's, Torts looks to me like he's a in the moment type of guy, right?
Yeah, it probably doesn't worry about that.
What does he have to worry about, Torts? I mean. Right, if he gets canned, he just gets a nice cush job talking to the media. Sitting at a booth
he's never been out of a job for a long time, right? He got fired from the Blue Jackets, and then he got hired by ESPN. He got fired by, I believe, the Canucks. He got hired by TSN.
That's probably why he's efficient and he's still really good at what he does. He's you attest to this all the time. Pretty mentally strong.
Yeah,
never worried about his job. When you think of how, let's say, Jay Woodcroft was the last couple weeks of the term.
I wonder what Jay Woodcroft's doing right now. Hey, what doing?
He's definitely not getting a job on TSN or Sports Center.
Well, no, I guess not.
You know what I mean? But Torts, they call in Torts.
Not with that dippity doing his hair. Hey, Woodcroft.
No, but it's just the way it is.
You gotta love Torts up, dog. We'll be right back at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew, up, dog, my man, top titty. Listen, I put my team in, had her ready to rock. I was in the great state of Nevada, and they denied my entrance.
They blocked you out.
They blocked me out.
Was it? It wasn't for a lack of trying, was it?
No, and then I proceeded to head to the sports book and hammer our lock of the night, which we'll get to after this. But top titty, first of all, shout out to our winner, up dog. Who was it?
Chuck Nasty 19.
Chuck Nasty 19 with how many points, fella?
My guy, he got 130 points. Highlighted here by Tyler Sagan.
Good guy.
And David Pasternak. Pasternak went off for 30 bones.
By the way, can we just talk about how sick Pasternak is, by the way?
Is he ever?
The guy is nasty.
Oh, and then...
you think about, we lost Bergeron, we lost Krejci, which is a big loss, but... we got Pasternak, who's leading the league, or tied with Quinn Hughes for leading the league in points. But
absolutely.
So shout out to Chuck Nasty, 130 points. Listen, email us at www.missincurfew.com. Give me your T-shirt size. I will send you a hat and a T-shirt. Congratulations, fella. Up, dog. What place were you?
I finished 15th. I'm still in the money, baby. I won 20 bones. Highlighting Max Miller over here, our producer, came fourth. Wow. Was right in the hunt till the very end. What happened, Max?
I haven't watched a lick of hockey all year. I watch football every Sunday, and I can't place in any football contest every Sunday. And the first hockey contest I entered, fourth place.
That's fucking gambling in a nutshell, by the way, right? That's like me with hockey. I watch 3 games a night, and I'm like, I got this figured out. Bing. No, don't.
I do have to say, last week's Missin Curfew bump to my boy Jonathan Huberto got him 17 points.
Yeah.
A little flame next to his name. He had, one assist,
little flame,
5 shots on net. First 5 shot on net, I think, game of the season.
I should know this, but shots on net count, obviously, right?
Shots on net is, he 7.5 points.
I did take some Missin Curfew tips there. Hubie was one of the guys I had because you guys had just talked about him.
Yeah, the boy.
We talked about Fiala with Stoli Babe.
Yeah.
Last week too. Took both of those guys.
There you go.
For 2 of my top scorers.
Well, you hung right in there, bud. You hung right in
Way
there.
to represent the fucking team, Maxie. Got a boy. Up dog, 15th place in the money.
15th, yeah. Cam Talbot stood up for me, 23 points.
Where's Brento on that list? Did he play or what's going on with the captain?
Let's see. Where did Brento go?
Is he?
Oh, yeah, there he is. He finished 23rd, just out of the money by
captain.
1.
Listen, I'm gonna get Sauce Hockey to make a top titty T-shirt. I'm putting a C on it for Brento, and I'm sending it to him. I'm doing that. Yeah. I'm doing that.
XL.
XL.
Big Scott's coming here today, so he'll be get him to bring it
Can we
home.
design a top titty with a C? Will we put Brento on the back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Captain.
Captain Brento. So, Maxi, great job. Get in there. Saturday night top titty. Like we said, not only do you get the, $200 or $250 from our friends at DraftKings, going to send you a sick hat and a buttery t-shirt. Chuck Nasty, email the boys and we'll get that out to you. DraftKings, baby. Saturday night, lock of the week. Or lock of the night, whatever you want to call it.
Often.
We're back, fella. Updog went on the limb with the Bruins over the Canadians. Original 6 matchup. But listen, not a boy. And Maxie called me out last week. It was great. He said the first time we've ever had a milk carton and a lock of the night. I had the Hurricanes. Listen, they were down 1-0 halfway through the second, maybe even into the second. They won 4-2. So listen, we're 2-2. I'm going to go first because you've been picking first. Saturday night, lock of the week. Listen, as much as we love Hubie and you got him going, I'm going the Colorado Avalanche. By the way, they cost me the other night against Nashville.
I know
that was an embarrassing effort by them. Like, stops and starts. They're circling around. The puck is bouncing. Stops and starts. And get the goddamn thing out. Right, Uppy?
Yeah, that's by the way, that's the way the league is right now.
That's
you go on a tear, and then all of a sudden you get some bad habits, and you cost yourself some cash.
I'm a little concerned about the Avalanche. Landy, keep that rehab going, buddy. They miss you more than you think.
Are you still going to bet on them every game?
I have been,
Yeah,
I have been.
How many have they lost this year?
They're 11-6 or something.
11-6.
Yeah, they won from the other night in Dallas. They were plus 110.
Perfect.
Which they're never an underdog. But
Perfect.
I got the Colorado Avalanche against Hubie and Weegsy Babies, Calgary Flames, lock of the night.
I am going to go with, you know what?
What you got?
Go right here. Out of our boy Keith Jones, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Flyers on the road against the New York Islanders. The boys will be taking the bus up to New York, and
Yeah.
they'll be
Bus
going
or
on
train?
a mission. No, up to Long Island, you take the bus.
You do, eh? Yeah, of course.
Take the bus. You train to New York City,
Jersey.
so MSG, and then you train to Washington.
No Jersey?
No, bus to Jersey too.
Oh, yeah. How long is the bus ride, depending on traffic? To Long Island?
No, if it's Hoboken, no, you just bus day of the game to Jersey.
How long does it take?
50 minutes.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, that's such a feather in your cap. I mean, when I played in the West most of my career, you give anything for a 50-minute bus trip.
Totally.
Right? So, all right. I got the Avalanche over the Weegsy Baby Flames, and Updog's got Keith Jones and his former Flyers against Bo Horvat and the New York Islanders. So, Updog, great job. Stay hot, fella. We got Keith Jones coming right up now.
Fellas.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog, all-time legend, a guy that we've been lucky enough to become friends with over the last couple of years. The TNT boys are definitely missing him, but the Philadelphia Flyers are absolutely humming right now, your former squad. So no better than the president of the Philadelphia Flyers, Keith Jones. Jonesy, thank you for taking the time, fella.
Yeah, always good to catch up with both of you guys, and good to get to know you guys over the years. Obi recently, and Scotty from his time playing here with the Flyers. So I go back quite a ways with Updog, and it's good to catch up with both of you guys.
Jonesy, first off, I have to ask, what's it like to have to be the president of the Philadelphia Flyers to you? I mean, you were a heart and soul guy as a player, and then as a broadcaster, you always loved Philadelphia. So what's it mean now to be the president?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, Scotty. There's no doubt that it's meaningful to me. Most importantly, getting the team back and headed in the right direction is really important to me. We've got a good feel around here now. We've got a good group of people, some that have been here from the past and quite a few that have been added here recently. I feel really good about the direction that the team is heading. I think our players are feeling good about playing for the Flyers again, which, as you can speak to, Scotty, was a big deal when you were here as well. We got, a lot better vibes going than they were previously, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, Jonesy, it's fun to watch you guys play right now, and you could tell from an ex-player watching that you got some good mojo going, on the ice and off the ice. But I listened to you on TNT about a month back, and you said, Enzo asked you, what was the first thing, being the president, you said, I had a lot of phone calls from everybody looking for jobs. So did this guy call you for a job? I'm curious. Did this guy call you for a job?
I think it was just a congratulative text. It was more.
His name did come up to me. It was presented to me by a few people, but not by Scotty himself. But there was a lot. There was a lot of that, and that was not easy. And I've been in that position myself when NBC was switching over to TNT and ESPN for hockey coverage. I was not in a position where I didn't need to pick up the phone and call in a few favors from other people. So it's understandable to me. It's disappointing when you can't help all your friends, but it is gratifying when you can help a few along the way. So you kind of feel it from both sides, but there's no question that it's probably been the hardest part of this job was, turning down a few people, really good hockey people that were looking to get involved with the Flyers.
Obviously, when you're building your front office, like building a team, you got to have skill and talent, but obviously connection and being buddies is important. So when you were hiring people, was it more like, hey, I know the up dog, or I know this guy and that guy, or hey, he's been in the league and he's had success in this position as a scout, or whatever it would be, Jonesy?
Yeah, that's a lot of that. It's a combination of all things. You want to use all the resources that you have in front of you. Relationships do matter, especially when you're building a team. And the team is not just the players on the ice, it's everyone that's involved around the organization. So some of those relationships from the past certainly came into play. Mike Eastwood's, one of our top pro scouts who was in Anaheim previously, was my college roommate at Western Michigan. So we go back a long time. But he continued to put the work in after his playing career and has established himself as one of the, top pro scouts in the business, and has also done a lot of different things, including coaching at the, major junior A level at the OHL in Ottawa, and also doing player development with Anaheim before moving into the pro scouting department. So you're looking for people that have, a vast amount of knowledge in different avenues, and Eastie was one of those guys. Patrick Sharp, another guy that I worked with in television, who I always enjoyed picking his brain about, some of the newer aspects of the game. He just recently retired and obviously, played a big part in winning Stanley Cups in Chicago, but also was a college hockey player that didn't jump right up in a prominent role in the National Hockey League. He had to work at it. So I think players like that can pass along information to younger players and prospects go a long way in helping the organization improve in that regard, and hopefully pays dividends in the future.
And Sharpie's going to help with the headshots, with that hair and the jawline. He's going to be good for the headshots too, right? A little balance, Josie.
I had to get him off TV for all you guys. He was killing all of us.
Yeah,
no doubt.
There's no more LA looks in the dressing room.
Yeah, Sharpie's coming. Save some for the boys for warm-up, Sharpie. Hey, Jonesy, there's got to be so many cool things to being the president of an NHL hockey club, and like we said, it's well-deserved for you. But, we got our studio here. We take pride in it. How's your office looking, Jonesy? Did you bring some in to do some interior designing? You got old pictures of yourself? Updog's got a good eye for interior design, so if you need a guy, let him know. But is it looking sharp?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It was a little bit surreal when I walked in there for the first time, because I remember when I retired with the Flyers, I had to come in and sit down and meet with Paul Holmgren, the president of the team at that time and general manager, and have a really difficult conversation about what would my next steps in life be. And, he had offered me a coaching job in the East Coast Hockey League, and I eventually decided to start doing some television. So being back in that's the last time I was in my office, which I'm sitting in, most days now. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. When I looked around, I was like, man, this is the same place, 23 years later. So once I got over that, did get some people in to help me design it, including my wife, who came up with some great photos. And now it feels like an office, but I don't spend a lot of time in there, to be honest with you. I like to travel around within our complex here and visit with all our employees and sit down in their office and discuss how they're doing and what we can do to get better on a daily basis. So kind of an open door policy around here, not just in my office, but in everyone's office around the skate zone here in Voorhees.
Yeah, you kind of teed me up for my next question, Josie. We have a thing called the Fella Tour. We love getting on the road, especially this beauty here. But what's your schedule like day to day? Are you trying to get on the road? Do you have a lot of meetings that dictate what's your schedule, I guess is what I'm asking, Jonesy?
Yeah, it's busy, and a lot of it is predicated upon where we are in our schedule. I do travel with the team. I kind of look at what Vegas has done over the time period that George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon have been working together. They're often with each other. I think having the balance of two different people and two different ways of thinking can go a long way in helping you improve. Danny and I are very close. We have a lot of conversations within every day. And I think it's important to continue to keep those conversations going. I pick his brain and he listens to me. And we try to come out with solutions to any of the day-to-day problems that might arise, and also come up with ideas for the future that can continue to allow us to progress.
Let's stay on the Danny Briere train right now for a minute. I loved Danny when he played. I loved how passionate he was. You could tell that when he scored goals, right? What's one thing that you've really been impressed with seeing Danny in his new role as general manager? One thing that, he shows up, and I can see him, being a great guy for the younger players too, right? Really being able to resonate with them all. But what's one thing that maybe stands out to you and the guys around?
Yeah, I would say his thoughtfulness. He is really well thought out. He doesn't overreact, but he reacts appropriately. So far to every situation that I've, watched land in his lap, he's got a really good feel for people. And he's also an extremely good communicator for a guy that, spoke French until he was pretty much playing in the National Hockey League. His English is outstanding. He's a very bright young man. Had he not gone to junior, he had a scholarship to Harvard that he was sitting on. Ended up, and that's without speaking any English. So you can imagine how intelligent he was throughout his schooling years. That's really something that has stood out to me. It's a very, very bright young guy that has a great feel for the position, but is also somebody that thinks of others a lot. And I think that helps within the team environment.
Jonesy, speaking of thoughtfulness, how's my buddy John Tortorella doing? I mean, listen, I played for him as a young kid, and still to this day, Torts means so much to me. He was hard on me, but he made me a better player big time, and more importantly, a better man. And anytime the camera goes to him and I see him, I still love John Tortorella. So how is your relationship with him? Is there something maybe you didn't know about him that you see now day to day working with Torts?
Yeah, it's good to hear you say that, Obi. And there's so many, players that say it after their career. Some may not enjoy it while it's happening. He's not a guy that's going to allow you to get away with a whole lot. If he feels there's things that need correcting and are correctable, he's going to help you kind of get in the right place. That's one of the most impressive parts of Torts. He cares a lot about his players. I watch how meticulously he goes about trying to make difficult decisions, including when a player's in the lineup or out of the lineup. You can really see a lot of that from where I'm sitting now, and I'm involved in some of those discussions, of course. But he cares, and there's a very small percentage of players that played for Torts that didn't appreciate that style, but the majority do. And you're no exception to that. And I think that means a lot to Torts. I think he looks at a lot of his former players as people that he hopes he helped out, not just in their playing careers, but in life after hockey as well.
I might need you to use your presidential card on him, though, because he keeps dodging me for my podcast, Jones. He won't. I'm like, I might have to call Jones here and say, hey, Torts, I got the press here. Says, you got to come on Missin Curfew, fella.
He's got the guys playing hard, though. He's probably focused on the X's and O's.
You know what I knew? He was a great guy, Jonesy. I knew when I played for him, but then I got traded to Vancouver, and Torts got let go, and he was working for TSN, and he would call me after the games like, hey, keep your stick down. Hey, your gap there, this and that. That's why you're getting, I was like, wow, this guy really does care. Like, he has no more interest in me as a coach, but he cared about me as a person. That's why I was like, wow, he really does care about people.
Yeah, that's where those relationships last a long time. And, I played for one of Torts' former head coaches when Torts was an assistant in Arizona or Phoenix at that time, and Jim Schoenfeld, and he was very tough, very hard on me, and we had many arguments, disagreements, and if I saw him today, I'd give him a big hug. It was really important for me at that time period in my life to, be disciplined, to be taught what it was like to, do things properly. he wasn't always right. I was often wrong. And so I do think those are important people that you come across in your lifetime. And I know Torts and Shoney are close, and I think we're going to get together in Arizona and grab a little dinner together on one of our upcoming road trips. So I'm looking forward to that.
Jonesy, we're coming up to the quarter mark. Just a little bit about the team, the current team right now. You guys have been playing well, 5 in a row. What's standing out right now about this group of guys that are going out every night and proving people wrong? I mean, they're a tough team to play against, but what's it mean for these guys to be able to put that jersey on and go out and win these games lately?
Yeah, they love each other, man. It's something you're looking for. They play hard for one another. They're disappointed when they lose. They're really excited when they win. They are happy for, any individual player to stand out in any particular game. They're unhappy when one of their teammates isn't in the lineup. They're there pulling for each other and making sure that they keep that player or players involved in everything that they're doing. It's all the things you want to see from a team, and we obviously have an eye on the future here, but the players will decide, just how quickly that future arrives. And a lot of them are doing their part to, make sure that we're thinking long and hard about some of the decisions that we have to make here, in the coming months and the next couple of years. So good on them. And we appreciate everything that they're putting into the product that they're putting on the ice.
Yeah, you could tell they get along, especially at the start of the year when they're at the Phillies ball game, right? A couple of the boys were enjoying the game, having a cold beer. I'm like, that's what it's all about. To be sitting there, enjoying the ball game. I was like, that's a good sign for them. And I guess what I'm going to ask you, Jonesy, is we just talked about Torts, and listen, I went through his training camp. The first 3 days are as hard as it gets, but then he really eases off. He really gets into structure, and you really start learning your 5-on-5 D zone and all that. So I guess what I'm asking is, did you see this? Did you anticipate this start coming out of training camp? Did you have a good feeling after the preseason and Torts' camp and maybe positive at the start of the season?
Yeah, we did, and a lot of it had to do with number one, just how much the guys embrace the difficulties that arise during a training camp like Torts runs. A lot of it is difficult, but as you mentioned, it starts to change after the first couple of days, and you get through the anxiety that you've been worried about all summer to make sure that you're in shape for that. I think that's one of the ploys that Torts uses, and it works. Our guys came in great shape, but they all were, helping each other through the fight. That's one of the most impressive things I saw with our group was if one guy was starting to slow down, they made sure that they were there to pick him up. And that's, I think, what Torts is looking for. I think that's something that our team has really embraced. And they're an impressive group of young men that we have playing here, and they've got a good leader in Torts to help them along the way.
You're right about Torts, though. The stress he puts on, it's coming. And for me, a guy who was always trying to make weight, I was just so nervous and stressed that I wouldn't eat the last couple of weeks, and I would lose that last 5 or 6 pounds. And then you come in there and crush it, and that he's so good up yet at that, and days off after that. He knows. He pushes you, but then he knows that you need rest. And as long as you prove to him you're in shape and ready to rock. So it's pretty cool.
Those first 3 days give me a nightmare.
Those first 3 days are tough on the hip flexors.
Jonesy watches it from the crowd now, and he goes, "Man, I'm glad I'm not."
I honestly didn't enjoy watching it. It wasn't something that I was enjoying. When I was, doing the TV, I might have got a good kick out of it. When they're your guys, you want them to get through it. So yeah, it's a different perspective.
Yeah, let me ask you that. When you go from being a great TV guy you were, that was around the game every day, and obviously you were a great team guy when you played. Everyone that played with you talks about you said that, and you could tell just hanging around with you. But when it's your guys and you're looking out that I got to take care of these guys, I got to keep them healthy, I got to make them the best, and at the end of the day, they are assets to you as well. What's that feeling deep down for you?
Yeah, you care about them all. It's something that you want to carry forward every day. We're around them a lot, both Danny and myself. We have many conversations throughout any particular day with everybody. You want to make sure you stop and take the time to talk to them. I always appreciated that when I played. It's not something that occurs all the time and every organization, but it's something that we want to do here. Our players seem to enjoy it. They seem to, like that we're interested in what they're doing, not just as players, but as people. And we want to make sure that they enjoy their time when they're here, and that they, understand that we respect all the things that they're doing for us to try to make our team better.
Jonesy, a little bit about personnel and embracing a guy that's able to come back and battle through injury. One of your key guys, Sean Couturier, who, we missed the last couple seasons, terrible back injury from a guy that's been hurt. What it means to your group to have that leadership back and to have a guy up the middle, a big body that's been missing. I mean, at the top of his game, he's one of the best players in the NHL at his job. So what's it mean to have him healthy again? And he's got a lot of years left on his deal, so it's nice to have him back in the lineup, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's gigantic for us, and one of the big reasons why we're as competitive as we are. One of the best two-way centermen in the game. He's been through a lot over the last 2 seasons, missed a ton of time. It's kind of a blade of a saw for him right now. Good day, and then dropped down a little bit, and then another big day, and it's getting to the point where it's starting to get where he's consistently feeling great and doing all the things that he does on a regular basis to help our team win. Cam Atkinson, very similar in that vein, guys. He's done an outstanding job. Both players are leaders. Neither player is wearing a letter. Torts felt like they had enough on their plate just to get back going after the amount of time that they missed. I thought that was a really thoughtful way of doing it. Scott Lawton continues to wear the A, and that's the only letter we have on our players, but you can be sure there's leaders in that locker room. Mark Stahl is going to return to the lineup here in the next little while, which is great. But Couturier and Atkinson do a lot in the leadership department with some help from their friends, like players like Travis Konecny who've really stepped up as well. So, yeah, it's a good group of guys. I'm impressed by what they've been doing, but Couturier certainly makes everybody slot differently in better positions now because he is, the top guy playing up the middle.
Yeah, it's great to see him back. I've been a fan of his game all the time, and when you play with guys, as Jonesy, when you see him every day, you're like, oh, wow, this Upshaw, he's got better hands than I thought he did. I thought he was just, going to muck it out all day. But when you see Couturier every day as the president now, is I know it's a small sample size, Jonesy, but is there anything besides he's a great two-way? Is there anything else that's jumped out to you, maybe his practice habits, his day-to-day attitude, anything like that?
Yeah, all of those things, Obi. I've watched, obviously, his career from the time he arrived in Philadelphia. It didn't jump off the page to me. It's actually a good lesson in player development. I did not, in my own mind, see how good he was going to be until probably 2 years into his time with the Flyers. I was being told, and there was guys within management here that really believed in him, and I can see why. So they were right. But it is a good lesson for younger players that, your amateur guys who are so talented and picking out players that can turn into, something that they project them to be that not everyone can do. So it's good to sit back and let them do their jobs, have input and listen. But Sean Couturier is a great example of somebody that has turned into, one of the most valuable teammates in the game. And for the Flyers, he's been their most important player for an extended period of time. Unfortunately, unable to play the last 2 years, but he's back in the driver's seat again, and we're really benefiting from that.
Yeah, Jonesy, you talk about development, and obviously defense takes longer than normal, but Travis Sanheim, a guy that I've kept my eye on over the year, just because I like watching the Flyers play, and then when Torts went there, small sample size again, but maybe you could touch on through training camp, just his gap looks better, his reading the play, obviously he's leading your team in scoring right now, but pleasant surprise, or is this what everyone in the organization kind of anticipated before you guys got there?
He's taken it to another level. Last year was a difficult year for Travis. He had apparently hurt his foot playing the World Championships and missed some training time the previous summer. So he did not go to the World Championships this year. He got himself into tremendous shape, really changed his entire his body composition. He got stronger. And he's really benefited from that. It was a great off season of work put in from a player that is really important to our future. He has taken multiple steps this year in every way. He's playing the offside, Obi, and I know you would probably understand that better than us as a defenseman. And he has been outstanding. Playing on the right side as a left-handed shot. He's been great defensively. He's been even better offensively. And he's eaten about over 25 minutes a night for us on the back end and does not appear like he's slowing down. So hats off to him for all the work he put in for us and for his teammates. And on a personal level, he's benefiting.
Yeah. you don't have to comment on this, but Chintzy calling him last night too. Chintzy call on him in the third. But you don't have to comment on that, Jonesy.
Yeah,
we don't want to get you in trouble.
Hey, we'll leave that to Briere.
Leave that to me. I'll comment on that stuff.
Jonesy, since I left Philly, and I watched the games. I watched players play, different players put the jersey on. One kid that stood out to me since he first wore your jersey, but the way he played, the way he competes, his natural knack for scoring goals is Konechny. Yeah. And is there, does he carry himself like off the ice as he does on the ice? Like he just seems like he's this just buttoned up guy. He's always showing up to play hard, right? Yeah. The fans got to love this guy. When he's doing what he's doing, you got to feel that building, that Wells Fargo building, it's got to be buzzing.
He's been one of my favorites from the first time I saw him play here. Like he just jumped off the page. I think the first broadcast I did, I said he's got it. He's got the it factor. And Chuck Grillo was the old GM in San Jose, was texting me right away. He said, "You're right. This kid's got it." And then he has shown that he understands it. He is a rare player. He is as close as you can get to Matthew Tkachuk and Brad Marchand. He's not quite there, but he's as close as you can get. Yeah. And those guys are really difficult to find. He's beloved by his teammates and the fans here in Philadelphia. And quite frankly, from ownership and management as well. He's everything you would want in a Philadelphia Flyer, and represents us really well, not just when he's playing, but away from the rink. So, yeah, we're very fortunate to have him and want to make sure that he stays around for many years.
Yeah, sorry, Jonesy. It was 2 nights ago you guys played Columbus. I was in Vegas at the F1. A little foggy here, buddy, but the goalie scored the other night against Columbus. Like, he gets it. The bottom of the circles, takes his time, and short side cheese. Like, I've loved him for everything up he said, but when I saw him shoot the puck like that, I go, I didn't know he could do that. So he has some ceiling skill-wise too, eh?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, no, he is a outstanding goal scorer. He plays with emotion. He is going to let you know if you're bugging him on the opposition, or if he feels like bothering you, he's going to do that. He can, most importantly, produce offensively to make some really skillful plays. We're looking for more players like Travis Konechny in our future. He certainly sets the bar high, and our expectations of him are met frequently. He plays the right way, and he's a fun guy to watch play. Our fans love watching him too.
Yeah, Jonesy, I got to ask you about a guy that I love watching play is Nick Seeler. Right now, +10 for you. Another guy that has a short sample size this year. I feel like his first pass has gotten better. I feel like you can see the confidence is bringing. I know John Tortorella loves this guy, but from a president aspect and maybe from a GM at DB, this is a guy that, he's a dying breed, Jonesy.
He is, and we love Seals. There's no doubt. I enjoy talking to him every opportunity that I get after games and on off days. He's a really caring person for his teammates and cares about the way he performs. He's been a perfect Flyer. He has, and he's a guy that we want to make sure stays around here in Philly too. He's another one of those guys that are so important within the locker room, play the game with toughness, grit, and have also worked on their game to become better players like you spoke of, moving the puck out, primary shot blocker when he's going to put everything he has in front of it, including his face. Took a shot off the back of his head early this year on a one-time blast. I was waiting for the blood to pop out and nothing. He painted at the bench, and I was like, this guy's unbelievable. So, yeah, he puts a smile on your face, no doubt.
Yeah, Torch used to tell me I needed to block more shots. I said, Torch, the goalie's got the most equipment on in there.
He's making more money than me too.
What do you mean I got to block a shot here? I just box him out, let him see it. But, Jonesy, your fourth line, Nick Deslauriers, then you guys brought in Garrett Hathaway this year. I love this, Jonesy. I know the game's changed. Uppy has to hear me complain about it every week on Missin Curfew. I get it, but Jonesy, there's still room for this, buddy. These two guys can skate. Like, how nice is it having those two guys in your fourth line? Is this something that you will keep as the identity of the Flyers moving forward if it fits into your whole big plan, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's those guys are so valuable. They do whatever they need to do no matter how many minutes they get. And those are hard players to find. whether it's killing penalties, blocking shots, throwing their weight around, fighting if necessary, changing the momentum in the game, but at the same time being really responsible players, recognizing that they want to add to what we have, not subtract. They get it. And they're veteran players that have been around a long time that we really, we're really grateful that we have both of those guys. We were surprised that Hathaway was available in the off season. Danny patiently waited and, got the deal done, which was not something that entering free agency day we thought was going to happen for us. He's way too valuable, and we're really lucky that he's part of our team, and having Nick there to make sure he's always there to support him and fight the heavyweights when necessary makes all of our guys play a little bit bigger.
Yeah, Hathaway's come a long way, Jonesy. I went back down to the jungle in Calgary and Abbotsford, and he came up. Did he go to Brown, or where did he go? He went somewhere like that.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
He's an Ivy League educated guy that really fought his way through all kinds of adversity to make it to the National Hockey League, and then be a valuable contributor, pick up his 10, 12 goals a year, and irritate the opposition when necessary, play physically, and he's really turned himself into a very valuable player.
Yeah, so he got in his first fight coming out of college, and he only dropped one glove, and they got the wheels beat off him pretty good. He said, "Holmes, can you help me?" I said, I can help you, kid. First of all, you got to drop both gloves. That's the first thing I'm going to do. But after that, I'll show you a couple grips. But and listen, he came in, Jonesy, as a guy that never fought, and I said, there's one way to do it, just like that. Drop your second glove, but just get in there, and that's how you learn. And to see where he's been now, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised that he soaked it up, right? There's some players that you offer that type of advice to, and they don't want to do it. It's too hard. For him, it was not, and it's really benefited him to add that part to his game. But most importantly, turn himself into a really valuable hockey player.
Jonesy, one last thing on your current guys is, as we know this as a defenseman and forward, you're only as good as your goaltending, right? In this league. And right now you got Carter Hart, who's back playing like he was a couple years ago. Had a couple off seasons, but he's playing with confidence. He's making those big saves. He's keeping you guys in these low-scoring games. His demeanor walking around the rink again, right? Is it at a high? Is he that positive guy that's showing up right now and helping the boys?
He is. It's pretty level. I mean, he just kind of like a goaltender needs to be, and he has stolen a couple games for us. There's no doubt that our record is different if he's not a part of this. So his teammates love playing in front of him. They appreciate it when he gives them a tap for blocking a shot. He recognizes, like all great goaltenders do, what's going on in front of him. I remember playing in front of Patrick Roy, and whether you scored a goal or made a simple defensive play, he was the first guy to come and let you know that you were doing a good job. And I think that's what Carter's been doing here as well. So, yeah, great to see him perform the way that he has, and looking forward to him continuing to keep on rolling.
Awesome.
Jonesy, you kind of touched on this earlier, and it's probably a good problem to be in where you guys are sitting right now, and I know it's early, but you guys came in there with a plan, right? You and DB. Yeah. It's a good problem to have, but you just stay the course right now and see how this plays out, and if the boys force your hand into doing something around the deadline, you'll worry about that when it comes?
Yeah, we probably won't be this year. We'll be surprised if we were still in that conversation, but we're going to allow our players to play. We're never going to tell our players not to go out there and give everything they have to win the game that's in front of them. That's not going to happen here. So words like tanking and such are not part of our vocabulary here. It's all about trying to learn through winning. And right now we're finding ways to win. You can learn a lot through losing as well. But you want to, be in a situation where you're not just flopping all over the place. You want to play hard, and you want to try to make sure that you're competitive on a nightly basis. And we're going to make sure we are. We're not worried about the standings, up or down. We're just going to play to our identity, play well together, and see how far that takes us.
Well, listen, if you guys are still in the mix, there's an alumni game coming up. I don't know if you're scheduled, but if you can maybe get out and scout this guy, you might be able to get him for real cheap. I don't know what the league minimum is anymore, but you might be able to get him just for per diem every day, Jonesy, if you need a glue guy down the stretch here.
Well, if we need a concierge, we'll bring Scotty back. He can set up the minute.
Exactly.
Jonesy, one thing touching on the alumni in the history of the Philadelphia Flyers, it's always been a thing to take care of the guys when they leave the game, tons of ex-Flyers at the rink in and around Philadelphia, still embracing the Flyer logo. Well, as an organization now, and you brought all these guys back in, is that still of an importance to share the Philadelphia style, the history and the stories, and I guess what have you guys done? I know you built the new dressing room and everything, so you're giving back to the team now, but just share a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really important. Our history matters. There's no doubt about it, Scotty. There's a lot of players that have contributed to the success of the Philadelphia Flyers as an organization. We want to make sure they feel welcome here. We want to make sure our players that arrive here feel like it's a special place to be. It's gone back a little bit over the last few years, so we're rebuilding that part of the Flyers, and I think that's going to serve us well when it's time for us to start recruiting again, which is a couple of years away. But we want to be in the conversations when the big names are out there. We want to make sure that they're attracted to what we have here in Philadelphia by doing the little things right, by taking care of our players and their families, making sure that they like it here, that they love it here, is a big part of what we're trying to establish. So work to be done still, but we're on the right track, and we want to make sure that we're a destination again, which has kind of slowed down over the last few years.
Well, Jonesy, I always tell the Updog, I used to hate going in and playing in Philly. It was always tough, but the league's better when the Flyers are good. And listen, in our opinion, and everyone's opinion, I think you're the right man for the job. You and DB, keep it going. Say hi to Torch for me, and thank you for taking the time, Jonesy. You've always been good to Missin Curfew, buddy, and we're pulling for you boys in Philly. And best of luck the rest of the way, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Keep up the great work. We'll catch up soon. See you guys.